It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
We are live right now on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Carl Coulage for the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. We're coming off of wonderful news in our community, in the world, in the United States, in the George Floyd case, where Officer Derek Chauvin has found guilty on all three of his charges. And I think it's a turning point. It's a start. It really is a start for change, and what this country has been wanting for many years upon years has been change. So it's really important that, we've seen, even in the sports world, we've seen a lot of athletes talk about how they felt about it. I know Karl Anthony Towns, who plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, had his comments to say about what happened yesterday. It's long overdue. And I think it's really important and imperative that we keep the narrative about these topics and not be afraid to discuss these, even on a sports platform. And we have to be able to bring and use our voices, use our social media awareness, use what we've been educated to do to continue speaking on these issues. It's a start. We're not there yet, but it's a progress in the right direction. And I think some people still have an issue understanding what really happened and what's really happening in this country. So, again, I thought before I kick off today's show that we definitely talk about it. And thank you, Manny. Accountability is very important and key, and something that we have to take accountability for our actions, as we still see certain things going on out there that are happening that shouldn't be happening. And we have the power to help change those things, to help to change laws, again, to continue to raise awareness and bring awareness. And I know there are a lot of athletes out there who do that. And I commend them for continuing to do that, to use their platforms to do that, to bring awareness. So shout out to them. Thank you, everyone, for joining us as we see people coming into the comments and flooding into the comments. Today, we're going to start off with a little bit of soccer. The soccer world is in a buzz, and I know a lot of people. I have my soccer contributors in my ear. Shout out to Ricardo Etienne, Greg Polius, telling me to get ahead of the story. So I felt that we're going to talk about soccer. Let me bring in one of my contributors, Mr. Mike Murillo, who's going to help me out, because I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest soccer fan out there in the world, but I try to stay as informed as possible. So we are going to talk about soccer today on the show. We are also going to talk about the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about Steph Curry and some NBA. Mike, can you hear me, my brother?
Thanks for letting me join.
Listen, man, I sent out the promo and you hopped on in the message. You're like, Carl, you got to get me on the show. I want to talk about what's going on. So thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem, dude. It's awesome that I'm joining finally.
So what are your thoughts on what's going on in the soccer world here?
In the Super League, right? Well, I'd rather call
the
it
Super
football.
League. Well, originally, for those who know backstory, there was supposed to be a Super League where teams were going to break away and form their own kind of league. But that kind of got disbanded at this point.
What the background to this is, they've been trying to do this for over 10 years. Specifically 12 teams that are considered the best in all Europe. We're going to break away, from their leagues, which is absurd. One of my favorite teams, Chelsea, right now, they were going to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. But it's just, it was so obvious that it's a money grab, All they want was money. All the teams were losing money. So it's like, we come together, right? We're going to make money together with sponsors, with revenue, with all that. They're all losing money because of COVID, so they decided, let's do it now. Which is absolutely ridiculous, because we need football now. So it's just, I can't believe that it was gonna happen, but the fact that it's not happening anymore, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think we have somebody else joining us. Tim, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, now I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So thank you. So I just wanted to get your quick opinion on what's going on with the Super League. Mike just said that it's all about it's a money grab. I know one of my contributors saw your comment that you wrote in one of his groups. What are your thoughts on what's going on with the Super League? Was it something that they needed to get done and the entire collapse? What are your thoughts overall?
Overall, I am a big time, first and foremost, I was a big time Liverpool supporter. Like, you'll never walk alone, Reds till I die, all that. I watched every single game this year, including the game against the damn United Leeds the other day. And I found myself pulling for Leeds. And I hate Leeds. Most soccer fans hate Leeds. There's a lot of reasons to hate them. I think it's a disaster. It's terrible for football, and that's exactly what it was. It was a money grab by the owners, greedy, they wanted more money. They wanted the teams with the most fans, with the most money. And in doing so, we're giving up the history of what makes football so great and what makes football what it is the people and the game and the structure and the relegation. And you have to earn everything that you achieve.
We have also another Sports contributor here, Junie, joining us. Thank you for coming in. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with the panel about it being a money grab? Was this kind of a way to start a new league? I know a lot of fans were against it. Could we find fans that were for it, or is that too much to ask for?
I think you can find fans for it, though.
No.
I personally think so, because there are people that are going to put money towards that, which will bring them more money. I mean, this is for people with money. This is not for the average, fan or average people. I mean, I get it. This league is not for the poor teams. It is a good idea. Don't get me wrong. It's a good idea if you involve other teams. I get it. They want a bigger payday by getting $400 million, whoever the winner is. I get that, but I think the way they went about it, it was just, that's what brought the disaster.
So but the reason, no, go ahead.
But I think if they were to involve small teams like the Champions League does, that could work.
No, because then that wouldn't be fair.
No, but it's already not fair, to be honest. Soccer is not fair right now.
I don't know, man. I have to plead.
Would you guys say it's because of the fans revolting is why they decided to disband the entire thing?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Of course.
I think
if the fans were quiet, they wouldn't have done anything. They would have just kept going with the plan.
100%. 100%.
Go ahead, Tim.
It had a lot to do with not only the fans, which was huge. The players stepped up from certain sides. We'll say Milner and Henderson from Liverpool. Manchester United, of course, Rashford. You knew Rashford was going to stand up. You had Bruno. You had Shaw. You had Maguire. The players were not happy. Pep Guardiola, who I hate more than anything in the world, he destroyed it. He did a great job. No other manager was willing to speak out, and he damned it. He was like, "This is."
I think he's in the best position to speak.
Okay, so let me ask this. So we have someone in the comments who's saying, for the casual soccer fan, right? What can you tell someone who doesn't necessarily watch soccer on a regular basis? Could you possibly explain why this wouldn't be great? Now, based on what you guys are telling me, it's not going to help the bad teams. It's only going to help the good teams. But
no, it's not the bad teams. Let's not say bad teams, because small teams are not bad.
Okay. Yeah, not the bad. Just the teams that don't have the financial backing.
They don't have
the other teams have.
Yeah, they don't have the budget. They weren't about paying the bills of the stadiums, paying the people that work in the stadiums, barely paying the players. The profits are not like Manchester City, that they make like $300 million in a year or whatever the amount that they make. Like, they making way less. And by not playing with bigger teams, you're not going to be on TV, which means that you're not getting any money.
You're not making revenue.
You're not going to make any money.
AC
So it's not
Milan
going to work.
wasn't even in the top 30 last year in revenue for all of Europe.
Wait, so Carl, what was the so Carl, repeat the question.
So the question is basing it again for those casual fans. Is there a easier way to break down what just happened and what happened?
An easier way to break down is simple. Okay, so a bunch of teams from the top 5 leagues were goaded into. Actually, no. It started off with Manchester United and Liverpool over in England.
Let's not forget the Real Madrid.
Arsenal, yes. And Real Madrid. Teams with the most history, with the most trophies, they all came together and they were all like, okay, we're sick and tired of playing the same old teams. It's obvious that we keep winning everything and everything. Let's come together with other teams that also win everything and everything, but at the same time, also have a tremendous amount of money. Let's create our own league with those successful teams that also have money, okay, and let's make money out of that. Why? Because more people are going to see us play against them than they
It's a
will
bigger
against.
pot.
Yeah, exactly. Then they're going to see us play against, I don't know, Team A, Team B, whatever. They're going to love to see us play against these top teams in Champions League, so why don't we make our own league? We might as well just do that. That's the way it works.
And
To
be honest,
they did put the stipulation in that the founding 12 teams could never be relegated from
exactly.
Right,
That's
exactly.
the problem. That's the problem. They were thinking of adding Porto and some.
I'm a
some
Porto
others.
supporter also.
No,
Yeah.
they wanted. No,
Okay.
Porto is not part of it. They were
I
going to
know, I
ask
know.
Porto
That-
to be part of it.
Okay, so we have a question
Before
here.
they asked
too.
them, they
What's the
rejected.
question?
So
Go
Junior,
ahead.
say this. So how would this kill the individual leagues from each country?
Well, because it would.
Okay, I could start right here. Like in England, you take 6 teams away, right? So now basically, like they assume the supporters would buy. The supporters didn't, because Arsenal has been around since 1873, I believe. They're one of the oldest clubs in England. You got Liverpool, 1892. You got United was 1873 as a railway club, and they were first division 1902, and they got relegated. They couldn't pay their players. Local businesses stepped in and changed the name to Manchester United, and now they had the most first division titles with 20. So you're taking away the most first division titles with 20. Liverpool second with 19. You got the Gunners of Arsenal. You know, they've been up in the first division since 1904, only being relegated once, that thing all the way back in 1913. So you're taking away history from the fans, and the fans care a lot more about the history than what have you done for me lately. They care about that badge, like, you know, and what's behind it. And in doing so, and taking 6 teams, now you're going to have to take 6 teams from the championship, which is the second tier in England, right? And keep the 3 teams that should have been relegated in. These teams can't afford salary. So the teams that are left that have some sort of money in the Premiership, like let's say Everton or other historical teams like Aston Villa, Wolves, they can't hang at all. Like these teams, like say like Preston North End, who won the first ever first division title all the way back in 1888, would be coming back up to the Premier League, and their budget is nothing. Like they would be losing these games to the likes of James Rodriguez and Lucas Dean by 6-7 goals.
This is
And
the
then
way I see it.
Imagine
down.
Leicester. Imagine Leicester, right? Leicester won the league.
First ever Premier League, yeah.
Yeah, they won the Premier League, right?
Like
Imagine
6 years
they
ago.
Put in work to just make top 5, right? And there's no Champions League, there's no UEFA. Imagine just putting all that hard work they've been putting and not making anything. They're just playing for what? The local cups
Let me put it this way.
would disappear too.
Let me put it this way for the non-soccer fan who's watching this. All right. Let's say, Carl, you're a big supporter of the Celtics, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
know this.
So, yeah, I know this from 3 years of knowing you, man. So let's put it this way. Let's say the Celtics, they were going down. They didn't have that much money, but you came together with the whole group of guys, and you're like, man, we can't give up on this team. Let's invest some money. Let's put money into it nonstop. Okay, and then the Celtics become huge, and then they start winning championships because of you guys, right? Next thing we know, they announce someday, hey, guys, I don't think we're going to play anymore for this trophy that you guys helped us win. No, instead, we're going to play for another trophy that we're helping ourselves win. So, I mean, that's kind of like stabbing you in the back. Like, wait, hold on a second. Celtics, we helped you guys. We helped you become who you are.
Right.
Like-
so let me
like-
ask this, Junie. So let me say this: where do we go from here? Like now that it's been disbanded, do they just go back and like people will pretend like nothing ever happened? Like
No. I think it's going to come back. I personally think it's going to come back because Florentino Perez and I think it's Henry, the owner of Liverpool. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of pool. Everything. I mean, the same way that it came out of nowhere, that's the same way that they're gonna keep talking about it until they get it together. Because this is not something that just happened this year. They've been talking about this
for 10 years now.
For 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the way it came about it. It's not merely what they did. It's just how it came about it. If they would have thought, how about this? How about make a league that involves this continent? I mean, you said you have the best teams of Europe. Yes, but the budget is not the same. But you could say that some teams in this continent can give a challenge to European teams. And I could say that because I've seen some teams. Argentinian teams, Brazilian teams, Uruguayan teams, Chilean teams.
Like to the top 5, are you saying? Or to like
that's
like
what I'm saying.
I want to throw this out there.
Top 5 or top 3, I don't care. But I'm just saying, if you involve more teams around the world, it may work. But not just saying like you don't get relegated. That's no relegation for certain teams. That's not going to work.
I want to throw this out there. I want to throw this out there.
Mike, I'm going to get you. Tim, do you think this goes away? Is this something now that's been disbanded? Is it going to go away, or are they still going to try like
I think it goes away for the time being. I think eventually it gets brought back up, but not anytime soon. And what I also think is in the Premier League, at least, say you have financial mismanagement, right? You get docked 10 points on the table, right? So these teams really should be transfer banned, and they should also, in my opinion, be relegated, which will never happen because the Premier League doesn't have, the guts to do it because these are the biggest clubs in the world, but they literally just tried to destroy the sport. So if you mismanage money and get docked 10 points, you could attempt to destroy the sport and get away with no punishment. Like, I refuse to support Liverpool ever again until FGS and Henry sell. They need new owners. I'll support the players, but I will not support the club.
All right, Mike, final point here because we got to move on to my next segment. But what do you think? Do you think this goes away, or is this something that's going to linger for a while here?
Let me just make one quick thing to everybody's watching this. LeBron James is actually partial owner of Liverpool. So I just want to throw. I'm curious to see what he thinks of it.
That's a good point.
That's a good. Yeah,
LeBron
James.
Nobody
who knows?
About.
If LeBron James someday makes enough money to buy him, maybe he might buy him. Who knows? Is it going to come back? I'll tell you what. Unfortunately, yes, it will come back. Why? Because teams want to spend on big players, and by spending on big players, you're losing money. So the more hemorrhaging of money you're gonna let go, then you're gonna be like, we want to get this money back. What's the only way we're gonna get this money back? Let's play against the big teams and let's make some money that way. So it's gonna come back, but fans won't let it happen. So.
We got someone in the comments saying this soccer thing is emotional. I think he's a non-soccer.
Yes, of course it's emotional. This is something. It's just emotional. Of course it's emotional. I used to get up at 5 a.m. to watch soccer games. Like I used to watch Celtics, Rangers at freaking 6 a.m. Like,
but you know what? I think, but you know what? I think sports as a whole is emotional thing. I think we can't.
Absolutely.
Don't you guys yell at each other like every time there's a basketball thing going on?
Absolutely, no question for sure.
We're the same way.
So Tim, you can agree it's an emotional thing going on here.
Oh yeah, I'm very emotional about it. Still,
he just said that he stopped supporting Liverpool.
Yeah, he just said that.
He just said he just got supporting Liverpool.
LeBron.
I'm emotional about how the supporters are just flocking back as if it never happened too. So I'm a little upset with certain supporters, and I feel as though something needs to be done about, at least on the English side, these 6 teams. They need to be punished for what they did.
One question real quick, and I want to ask Carl this question directly to you. All right?
What's up, sir?
If LeBron James got enough money to become the full owner of Liverpool FC, would you start watching football more?
I don't know. I mean, I tend to watch more towards the World Cup. I'm not gonna lie, because it's always on, and you know, I get like, I'm the casual fan. When the World Cup is on, I will tune in. I will watch it. It's very hard to get me to watch soccer on a non-norm like World Cup
I
year.
think LeBron will have to get on the pitch.
LeBron will have to. Yeah, LeBron will have to actually get on there. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
LeBron will be like, guys, let me do it myself.
Carl, you hit on a huge point that we glanced over too. A big part of it was UEFA stepping in and saying these players could not play internationally.
Yeah.
And that played a huge part in it. Like, try to tell some of these guys they can't represent their nation, not gonna fly.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. We'll definitely have more soccer segments to keep up.
Awesome.
Thanks for being in the group and keeping up with the chat, and you guys being very vocal about it. So if we do have another soccer segment, and if this story does continue, I'll bring you guys back so we can discuss.
Julian, Tim, it was good to meet you guys.
Take it
All
easy.
right.
Take it easy.
You guys take
guys.
care. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Carl Coulange here as we transition to my NBA team and contributors. Ziggy Zig is in the building. Ziggs, how you doing, sir?
Yo, what's going on? That was an amazing segment that you just finished.
Well,
with.
thank you to my brothers for helping me produce it. You know, you guys definitely did an awesome job. We also have Mr. Mike Miller. Mike, your phone, sir. Could you possibly turn it for me, brother? There we go.
Always got some stinking demands, man.
Come on, man. You know this, baby. The production's got to be right. Anthony knows it, too. He has to turn his phone, too. He already knows what he has to do. So thank you guys for joining me. Yesterday was a great day. As I mentioned in my opening, I just wanted to get your quick comments on what happened. I know people have a lot to say about it. So before we get into the sports and the dialogue that we love to do, you know, I can't do a show without us talking about what happened yesterday. Mike, my brother, what were your initial thoughts?
Man, yesterday was phenomenal. Yesterday was a W, man. And I'm just elated. All the work, everybody being in the streets, all the stuff, all the naysayers were saying, oh, it don't make sense. This was evidence that your work matters, the things you do matter, and these are the results of that. And so while some people are still saying, oh, it doesn't count, or oh, we don't know, it's still sentences, you got a lot of that going on. Nah, man, this is a win, and we take them wins, man. So I feel great, man.
Ziggs, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I'm trying to see if I should go political with this or if I should just give it to y'all real.
You know, listen, the Sports Hit List, we like to give the realness. The people watch us for the realness, my brother. You already know this. Come on.
Right, copy. So with that being said, right, I agree with Mike in the sense that, yeah, it's a W, but for me, I need to see more. I need to see more. We've seen too many situations happen in this country like this over and over. I think for me, the first time I've seen something like this was the Amadou Diallo case. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old when that went down. So we need to see more because there's been too many cases all over the U.S. where, you know, guys are getting off scot-free. You know what I'm saying? Props, you know, to the the prosecuting team for taking care of that and making sure that criminal goes where he belongs. But I need to see more. You know what I'm saying? We had 3 tragic deaths take place over the course, I think, of a week and a half. And are we going to get that same result that we got yesterday? Who knows?
Anthony, your thoughts?
Me personally, I didn't have many thoughts on it, but my thoughts on after, you know, my initial thoughts on everything happened, you know, pretty much good for the family, good for everybody else, hoping that they would see some sort of justice and everything else. Me personally, it's not gonna, you know, bring him back or whatever the case may be. This guy who just was convicted, the cop or the ex-cop or whatever the case, me personally, only thing that would suffice is life. And that's something he, you know, for taking a life, he should get life, but that's something that's not going to happen. So really probably nothing would, you know, pretty much be good enough for me. That's actually going to happen. But again, it's great that he was actually convicted of all charges. Finally, now we have to see the sentencing part because we've seen plenty of times, like with the Akil Gurley case and many others where, you know, they'll get convicted, but then they'll get literally no jail time or a year or so, whatever, for a murder. So again, you know, we have to see it full through. again, regardless of what happens, I won't be satisfied. But everybody else who is, it's a great thing as far as like for the judicial system. It's showing some type of, you can show some type of faith in it, and let's see it full all the way through. It's not over, and so far, job well done.
As I was saying, thank you guys for joining me. This is what I call the Hitless Originals. For those who used to know us from the studios back in the day, we used to yell at each other. And Ziggy Zig was there to help me start it. Anthony's our social media coordinator.
You mean when y'all was yelling at each other?
Mike Miller is our original vlogger. He's the one who goes on an anti-LeBron rant, and we get like 3,000 likes and shares and comments because Mike goes crazy about
my
LeBron.
guy.
But today, two topics I wanted to talk about, which I released in my promo. Wardell. I'm gonna call him Wardell. People have a problem with me calling him Wardell. That's his name. His mama named him Wardell. I'm gonna call him
Wardell. Call him with.
Yeah, right. So, man, he's having an amazing season. People are saying he should be in the MVP conversation. Where do we rank him all time? Steph is doing it right now. I think he's had 11 consecutive games of 30 plus, if not 12, if I'm not mistaken. So Steph is cooking. So look at Mike.
Seth is doing his thing for real.
No, Seth, because we know how you feel. We know how you feel. No, not Seth Curry. Steph Curry.
That's what I said, Seth.
You're
talking about the good one, right? Seth.
No, we're talking about the two-time MVP, three-time NBA champion.
Why
seem
you
to have a complex?
Yo, Carl, stop entertaining the trolls, man. That's their job, man. Stop entertaining trolls.
I don't know why he seems to have a problem with Steph Curry. Like I said, I don't know what it is. You have a complex when it comes to Steph. But Mike, again, it's hard to kind of put him in the MVP conversation because, again, we're going to say if we look at the trajectory of NBA history, his team is not where it's supposed to be. But what are your thoughts on Steph Curry, what he's doing now? Is he even in the top 10 greatest players of all time? Could we even entertain him in the conversation? Could you even entertain him as the greatest point guard of all time? Thoughts on Steph Curry?
All of the above is on the table based on what he's doing and what he's done 12 years he's been in the league. So, I mean, what he's doing now is it's not more of the same because we've never seen anyone shoot like this ever. In NBA history, we've never seen it. So that's just that. The first thing is this is unprecedented what he's doing. The fact that, everybody knows the stat that he has 21 games of over 10 plus threes. The next person after that is Klay Thompson with 5. He's had 4 in this streak, 4 games of over 10 plus threes in a game. So what Steph is shooting is incredible, but you definitely got to start having that conversation. I think we talked about it maybe a year or two ago. We talked about we talked about it with point guards. We talked about him being a top 5 point guard already. That's easy. But you definitely got to start opening that conversation of top 10 all time, top 15, especially like hypothetically, they got 14 games left. If they somehow sneak to the 6th seed,
we doing hypotheticals now? We doing hypotheticals now?
We're not doing hypotheticals. We never do hypotheticals.
Because last I heard, where are they right now? What seed are they right now?
Oh, here we go.
Carl,
what seed are they right now?
You are witnessing what happens when a human being is triggered. You're witnessing.
You are. It's ADHD. You are. It's PTSD. It's PTSD. You are absolutely right.
Look at him.
Yes.
He's triggered.
I am.
I don't know.
I'm triggered always.
You know what else he's triggered by? Mike,
the hypocritical narrative.
Oh, Lord.
I think maybe I think Ant thinks he should have been light skinned. Like, I don't know what it is. Like,
how? How?
I don't know what it is.
Y'all keep saying that. My favorite player right now is light skinned. So how is that,
bro? I don't know.
Okay. And before I get to you,
so just
go ahead. Let him go in. I'm sorry.
He's not in the MVP conversation right now. He's in 9th place. Stop it. He's not in the MVP conversation right now. But in terms of all time, when we talk about career precedent, come on, bro. The numbers don't lie. The evidence doesn't lie. He's definitely, you got to look at top 15. Top 10, that still remains to be seen. But right now, in terms of all-time great, he's clearly the second greatest point guard ever. No debating. So
Top
That's
50.
debatable, Mike.
you can debate it, but you can make a good. Let me say that you can make a great argument for Steph being the second greatest point guard of all time. You can make that
Behind Magic.
argument.
Behind Magic.
Yeah, behind Magic, you can make that argument. So
Okay.
what he's doing is incredible.
Ziggs, what are your thoughts about Steph Curry and what he's doing, and where do we rank him all time? The MVP conversation.
Man, listen.
Greatest
So
point guard
what
all
he's
time.
so to answer your question, what he's doing right now is just amazing work. I mean, this guy. I think this has to be the hottest he's ever been in his career. He's just like on fire. Double teams are not working. You can't stop him off coming off the screen and roll. I mean, the pick and pop. You can't stop him coming off the curls, the pin downs, none of that stuff. He's just letting it all fly. And he's not doing it against, some scrubby teams. There were some teams in there that he actually put up big numbers up against. I don't know the exact stat line, but I think in the last 10 games, he hasn't scored any less than 32, and he's hit 40 and 50 couple times. So it's just really crazy what he's doing right now during this run. As far as that MVP talk, we got to stop. You should eliminate that right now until his team get up there, and we got to see at least what you said, Mike, 6 seed. I say 6, maybe even 5th. If he can get him up there and continue this stretch, then we could definitely talk about MVP. But as of right now, being 9th place, you struggling to get in front of Memphis. Yeah. I can't really give Steph Curry the nod to be MVP or MVP candidate right now, all time. Now it's funny, Mike. You were sitting there, you were saying that, and I'm listening to y'all argue, or Mike say stuff and combat it with a few. But I'm like, yo, where would he be? Because most people normally got Magic and Isaiah, right? And then maybe John Stockton. It depends on your list, whatever. I was gonna put him 3rd. I could put him up there. I could put him up there as top 2. With the numbers he got, with the records he's put up, with the stuff that's yet to come. As you said already, he's in his 12th season, so there's more to come. If he stays injury free, who knows what can happen? I can put him at 2. I can say that. I agree with you on that, Mike. I can put him at 2. Okay. I know Ant disagree, and he gonna come with some.
Why would I disagree?
Okay, so Ant, well, what do you? Clearly, I know where you stand. That there's no MVP talk. You already established that. But as far as all time,
what do you mean?
Because you said it when Mike was speaking. You already established that he couldn't be in the MVP talk.
No, I didn't establish that when Mike was speaking. I was establishing Mike's narrative while he was speaking that he had some years ago for my guy Anthony Davis.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
fair. I know where you're going. When he was in the 10th place. Yes, when he was in the 10th place with the New Orleans Pelicans, you said he was the MVP. We told you no. Yes, I remember distinctly. I remember that time.
I was crazy. He shouldn't have even been in the conversation.
Like you said.
Say that again.
I never said Steph is the MVP right now. Like you
didn't. Mike didn't say that. He didn't.
No, I know he didn't. He shouldn't have.
Okay,
I know.
That's why.
I know he didn't.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on ranking Steph all time and also in point guards all time?
As far as all time, I believe he cracks the top 10. I wouldn't say he, done did top 5 things or with all that, but around 10, 15-ish or whatever for sure. Like if we're gonna
and
be
point
real,
guards?
At point guards.
What, top 15 point guards all time, you're saying?
Or players.
Yeah.
Or players.
No, he's talking point guards, y'all. Y'all know.
So you're telling me they're 10 point guards better than Steph?
Yeah.
You think there's 10 point guards?
Y'all knew this was coming. Why are we surprised?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm. What? Why y'all laughing?
I'm gonna just leave this here.
Why y'all laughing?
Why
y'all laughing?
You know I was.
The next question you gotta ask.
All right, no, stop. We're gonna be real. I was talking player all time, not point guard all
Oh,
time.
okay.
I was talking player all time.
Okay.
I love to see your faces though.
Okay, but as far as point guard,
as far as top point guard, I would say for sure he maybe cracks that top 5. Like he maybe. I still definitely wouldn't have him over Magic. I still wouldn't have him over CP3. I still wouldn't have him over what's my guy, Big O. I still wouldn't have
Well, let me ask this though.
I
don't know if this is a fair question. Steph is good at shooting, but what
Right.
else? But what else?
Which is why
I'm
wouldn't
asking
have
a fair
over those
question here
other
because
guys.
a lot of
That's not a
again,
fair question.
why
No,
not?
it's
It is a
a
fair
leading
question.
to a
You're
Again,
very good question.
he is the greatest shooter. Mike, I've heard you say this verbatim. He is the greatest shooter we've ever
And
seen.
that's it.
You heard
Right.
everybody say
Right.
that.
Okay, so
Mhm.
what? And again, shout out to
He's a
Andres
great-
because
No, he's a
Andres
great
asked this.
scorer.
Right. But Andres
Great
asked this
scorer.
question in the Sports Hitters group. He said, aside from individual accolades, what else is Steph better at than Magic? So it got me thinking
He changed basketball. How about
because
that?
he can.
No, he
changed
didn't.
basketball
Stop
because he
saying
can
that.
shoot.
Basketball.
Right, but
No,
again,
he
I'm asking a
didn't.
fair question. He changed basketball because he can shoot.
It's
Or
not
no?
just because he
No,
can
he
shoot. It's
changed-
the way he can shoot.
Thank you, Ziggy. Say it again. Other people have shot. Everybody
Dan,
has
no,
had jump
no,
shots
no,
before.
no,
It's
no.
what he
Dan,
does.
if we're gonna talk about changing basketball as far as like starting that trend, then let's give it to who we need to give it to. Okay, Dan Tony and Mark Jackson. For one, him starting his system or whatever with that gunning style or whatever the
7
case,
seconds
we
or
can give
less.
it to him.
Yep.
And then we can give it to Mark Jackson for again instilling them that they're the best the best shooting backcourt ever
What does
before
that have to do
anybody
with what
ever
he actually
before
did?
anybody ever thought about it, and let Steph again shoot those shots that he was shooting. Because again, as we always talk about errors, and a lot of errors, guys wish they were able to shoot that many threes or wish they were able to have that green light that other guys are giving now. But it's a copycat league. See, back then it was get to the post, don't
Well,
take
here's
too
the
many
problem
threes,
with
and that's
defending.
what everybody's doing. Okay, again, because he's benefiting from that, and he's definitely the greatest shooter we've ever seen. That's what he has. As far as like revolution, he didn't
did.
create the 3-point. He
And-
didn't create
and-
the 3-point shot.
And you're
He didn't create the
misunderstanding what it
3-point
means.
shot.
You're misunderstanding it. Let me break it down. First of all, the problem with your premise is you're assuming that everybody else just shoots jump shots, and the only difference is Mark Jackson let him shoot from half. No, the difference is he can do that at a level that nobody else can. That's the difference. He does
The
it at a
teams-
level. And so Mark Jackson said, okay, and it wasn't really Mark Jackson that unlocked that offense. It was Steve Kerr's offense that unlocked him. Mark Jackson gave them confidence, but it was
Right.
Steve Kerr's offense
How many-
based on the fact of what Steph can do. And the point of how he revolutionized is it's what Zig said. It's how he shoots, and particularly the distance as well as the movement. All of those things combined have changed basketball. Why?
How
Because
many Steph Currys do we have in the league?
Trae Young, Damian Lillard.
Dame Dollar.
Who else do we have? We have Trae Young, Damian Lillard. Those are two right there, all-stars that do exactly what Steph does, and they do it because of Steph.
Right now.
So you're saying
no, time out. Let me finish.
Hold on,
Don't
one
tell me what I'm saying. So
I'm
now
not telling you what you're saying. I was gonna
all right, but
clarify
let me
something.
finish my state. I'm not finished. I said that for a reason. It's called a setup. So now there's only but so many few players who are on that level, but yet they're playing like that around the league, regardless of the level of player it is. Because
it's called
again,
influence. It's called influence.
based on what?
Do you know how do you know how influence works? Let's talk about influence.
Based on what?
Let's talk about influence. Okay.
Because they don't have because you're trying to act like you have to have a Steph Curry to play like that. People don't have a Steph Curry and are still playing like that.
Okay, so hold on 1 second, Mike. Hold on, Mike. I'm gonna let you give me an example. So again, you're saying the volume that he's shooting at, you're saying the distance and him moving without the ball separates him and what he does great, right?
That's the fact. It's not just we minimize who Steph is if we say, oh, he just shoots jump shots. No, Damian Lillard shoots jump shots, but it's all of the things that Steph does in addition to shooting jump shots is why he's so dynamic as an offensive player and why basketball has changed.
Ziggs, to that point, to my original question, and what else does Steph do besides shoot?
I don't know, man. Shit, that nigga, he can shoot though. I don't know.
You don't know.
Shoot, man.
He can
I
score.
ain't
He's
know.
crafty with the ball. Great
got-
ball.
he
But that's a
handle.
legit question, though. It is a legit
He's
question.
a great ball handler.
It's kind of like Carl. If I asked you, what does Shaq do other than dunk in the post? Like what? Like
Well,
so
Shaq-
what? If he's dominant at it, who can? Why you want to know if he doesn't? Does he shoot jump shots? No. It's what Shaq.
Well, hold on, but no, because we're talking all time talk. We talking all time talk, aren't we?
Is Shaq an all-time player?
Yes, which is why
What
you would
else
have
does
to
he
go
do
through
other than
everything.
dunk and rebound? What else does he do?
Say that again.
What else does Shaq do
That's what
other
some
than
people.
dominate offensively?
That's the
What else
main
did he
reason
do?
why some people would take Hakeem over Shaq. That's the main reason why some people would take Kareem over
Yeah,
Shaq and
some
things
people
like
are
that.
better than
Because
Shaq, but it doesn't make Shaq not a great player because he didn't do jump shots
who's
like
who's
Hakeem.
saying he's not a great player? We're ranking the greatness. We're saying he's of the. We're saying Steph is of the greatness, but we're ranking him.
Yes.
Right.
So yes. So
okay.
Him not being able to like post up doesn't mean
or
he's
defend.
Than, like,
that diminishes his greatness. Yes, him not being able to defend and stuff. Him getting whored
the
on.
point I'm trying to get at is
again
on
defense like nobody else.
The point I'm trying to get at is trying to
Yeah.
explain to fans that again, aside from his shooting, and we know Steph can shoot. What else does he do that's great? Because that
But
was
see, that's what I'm saying, Carl. That question, you diminishing. He can't just shoot. He's the greatest shooter. See what I'm saying? You can't just say, oh, he just shoots. Like, no, that's like saying, oh, Shaq just dunks or LeBron.
Right, he doesn't just do that.
LeBron only just drives the lane. No, you gotta. Steph is the greatest at something. You can't just say, oh, he just shoots. Nah, man, you got to say he's the greatest at something. And instead of saying, well, he doesn't, what does he not do? We can do that with
his finishing is top notch, not just shooting. When it comes to finishing at the rim, his finishing top notch. Like his handling or whatever. His passing, other than his turnovers, be a little shaky sometimes. But other than that, he has it. He has a well-rounded package offensive game. But his stamp, of course, is that jump shot, that shot like no other.
Yeah, that's the signature. But he does everything. He does other things. It's just the signature is so overwhelming.
And can we really talk about who should be MVP if we're going to be bumping people up because of team and how hard and stuff like that?
We know who should be Donovan Mitchell, but that's another subject for another day.
No. Can we talk about Chris Paul?
Stop. Yeah, we can talk about that right now. Yeah, we can talk about that right now.
That wasn't even on the schedule. That wasn't even on the schedule.
We talk about Chris Paul. I'm saying we talking about narratives for MVP based on look at the team and look at all of this and that. Yeah. He took a 34. What they won 34 wins now. Now they
we spoke about this last time Mike was on though. Mike is saying that the Suns were already great already. So I'm not going to talk about it again.
Great how they won 34 games.
They were losing.
Great. Winning 34 it's not games. That they were great. What I'm saying is very simple. If the arrow's already pointing up and then you add an all-star player and the arrow keeps going up, it doesn't make that player. It's what I gave the analogy, and the Laker fan is here to agree with me. Shaq goes to the Lakers. They're good. Kobe gets better. They go up. It didn't make Kobe the best player on the team. Shaq was still the best player. It's just another great player playing with another great player makes the team go up. That's all I'm saying. Devin Booker's already there. They're already 8-0. You add Chris Paul, they get better. That doesn't.
But it matters how much they go up because that would, for one, like the award says, kind of show value for like how much you added to that team.
But that's what I'm saying.
That like said, as far as the hard narrative, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But look, and what I'm saying is, y'all were a good playoff team when y'all got Shaq. Kobe got better, then y'all became a champion. That didn't make Kobe the best. His value didn't shoot y'all from champ. He didn't become the most valuable player on your team just because he made you a champion. Same thing with the Bulls. The Bulls were losing in the first round, second round. Scottie Pippen gets better. They're now a championship team. That don't make Scottie Pippen the most valuable player on the Bulls. He just
That's not what happened.
Okay, so Zig, do you think Chris Paul is the MVP? Is that fair to say that he should be in the MVP discussion? Because he's not being talked. I don't think he's being talked about that much.
Chris who?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
The point guard.
He be getting 9 and
in all honesty, I think he can get mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're gonna talk about Steve Nash coming to Phoenix and then turning up that franchise and then getting 2 MVPs, I think Chris Paul should then get the same kind of love. In fact, I think I read somewhere somebody else had said that. Now that I think back, but I think that's exactly what needs to be happening. He needs to also be involved in the conversation. Is he the MVP? No, he's not the MVP. I don't think he's the MVP at all.
Just in a conversation, he should be talking about.
He's in the conversation. I would definitely, for you, Mike, I would also throw Donovan Mitchell in there as well. You know what I mean? Just off of the strength of what Utah is doing. But me personally, my MVP is Nikola Jokic. That's my MVP.
I was about to say.
He winning it by default. Let's call it what it is.
We have a quick hot tag in Mr. Ray Jarvis.
Oh, Ray Jarvis here?
Yeah, Ray Jarvis pulled up last minute.
What up, yo?
Ray Jarvis, did you have a comment to add to our previous segment about Steph, or did you want me to move on to my next narrative?
Come on, man.
Fresh off of vacation, the MVP is back. The People's Champion is back to get rid of Anthony and his slander per usual. The MVP of the NBA is Steph Curry, a.k.a. Wardell for the clown Israel, who gets upset when we call people by their actual name. Israel, you a clown. I said it. Anyway, Steph Curry is the MVP.
Wardell.
He's the most valuable player by position in the NBA. It makes Young Magic sick, and I love to see it. They want to talk about records.
It makes you sick that they're not in the playoffs.
The only record I care about is the 28-24 record when he's on the floor. They're a winning team with Wardell. They're going to the playoffs, and they might even win a round. This is recorded, Carl. So I already know what you're going to do.
I was about to let you know that just in case you didn't know.
I'm not afraid to say what I got to say on these shows. I'm not a hater. I'm not an emotional hater like Anthony Mullen over there who's in his feelings.
Not at all.
You know, Greg,
not at all.
Greg, I know you're watching this. I need an emotional meme for Anthony when it comes to Steph Curry because he is the most emotional Steph Curry hater I have ever come across in my lifetime.
How?
So
because you said he wasn't the best player in 2016. That's why too.
Needless to say,
he wasn't the best player in 2016.
He wasn't because he wasn't.
Look,
like he wasn't.
All I know is that in the 2021 season, there's no better show. There's no better player. There's no more dominating player as we speak than Steph Curry, averaging 40 for the month, looking like 06 Kobe, and it makes Anthony sick to see it. I'm enjoying it. And all this CP3 talk about MVP, get out of here. It's a cool story. He's not the most valuable player. Knock it off. If it ain't Steph, it's Jokic. That's all I got to say. Carl, I appreciate the hot tag. I'm out.
That's it? You're not going to stick around for my Knicks talk? He left. He left for fucking Knicks. He didn't want to stick around.
That was for you. Yo, I'm telling you, me and Ant already got a side deal. We're not going to talk about it. When that day comes, you know what time it is, bro. You know what's up. When that day
hold on. Wait. So the deal is on because you ran from it before.
No. I told you we're gonna talk about it later. No.
Okay.
I'm not accepting.
Okay.
Accept my
Don't
choice.
end up like Ray. That's why Ray had to come on here and leave because his man let him down the first half of the season. He told me that after 40 games they would be in the playoffs, and after 40 games they're still fighting to be in the play-ins.
No,
they're in the play-ins.
You're not telling the truth, bro. Listen,
how
with Steph, they're 28 and 22.
That don't matter. That don't, when it's all said and done, is that what's gonna matter? Or is the league gonna say? Is the league gonna say?
Bro, I already told you.
Their percentage.
You got one more month. We're going to have this conversation. May 18th.
No, y'all have another month for this.
Okay, guys. So my other topic I wanted to get into before I let you guys go is I have to talk about it. The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks.
Oh, no, Ziggy here. Ziggy ain't a Knicks fan no more.
No, he is. No, we have to talk about the Knicks.
He's still on that narcotic, unfortunately.
Listen, he never left.
On that narcotic?
He's still narcotic. So the reason I said I have a bone to pick with the Knicks haters is, and over the last 10 years ago, Carl Coulange was an avid Knicks hater. I see my status as well. I used to hate on the Knicks. Me and Mike used to joke around about them. But over the last couple of years, I think I've kind of simmered down and allowed them to be them. My pops is getting older, and he likes to see them play great. And right now they're playing great, and I have to hear an earful from them. I just thought it was important that we don't give them enough love and recognition. I don't know if the Knicks fans are doing this.
As we shouldn't.
Why not? For a team Can I finish? You gonna let me finish or no?
Oh, go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
Okay, so for a team over the last decade or 20 years or so we've known have not been doing great. The only one great season was that 2013 year that Melo had them win 50 games.
Come on, Carl, you being too nice. You said not doing great. They were trash. Tell me truth. Come on, stop.
Okay, all right, fine. They were trash. Fine. But they're playing I had an opportunity. Zig and I were watching the game yesterday. They play hard, man. So I feel like we should be giving them a little bit more love. Can we not do that? And the haters are not going to say that. They're going to say, well, it's the regular season. Well, you know what? It's only been a 6-game winning streak. What love are we giving them? But from a team that was in the dumpster fire, from what people have, and we know there's a complex because the Brooklyn Nets are a train station away, and people are saying that the Nets are the team of New York. The Knicks are playing great. And aside from what the Brooklyn Nets are doing, and they have superstars for an up-and-coming team with a new coach, Julius Randle is a player that people didn't expect, who's a former Flaker, by the way. People didn't expect to be playing at a high level that he is right now. I believe just as much as we're giving the Brooklyn Nets credit, and we again, I'm not sitting here screaming championship. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that for a team that's playing in the NBA right now, who's at a 5th seed, who could potentially have home court advantage in the playoffs, 13 games left, we should be giving them that chance and opportunity because they play hard. They play hard and they play great. Let's say what?
Let's say this, first of all, media man, with your narrative or whatever the case.
It's not a narrative. It's the truth. I didn't say anything that's wrong.
Yes, because they weren't a dumpster fire, first of all. They were getting, as my man just stated, their trajectory was headed up. They already hit the bottom. It wasn't no lower than you can possibly get than it was than the Knicks a couple of years ago or whatever the case may be. So everything else is up. So once they got Randall, that's going up. Once they got rid of the management and got who's the new guy they got in there running things, who's part of like
Mills.
And all of those guys, Steve Mills, and even behind the scenes, like all of these people they're bringing in to do better. They're not making dumb trades. They're not going after the LaMarcus Aldridges of the world and stuff like that.
Y'all did.
Shout out to him or whatever. No, we actually went after him when he was good. I'm talking about like recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and they're on the ups. And like I said, there's really nothing to say but good job. There's nothing to praise. We get it. They're, doing their thing. And as far as the Julius Randle thing, don't tell us to start praising Julius Randle. It was Knicks fans who didn't even want Julius Randle. Knicks fans don't really like anything good that they ever really have until they figure out that it's actually good. So don't blame us for keeping the same energy. Blame them for starting the energy. And that's all I have to say about it.
Ziggs, the Knicks fan in the building, I commend you for sticking with the ship. Greg Polius abandoned ship. Greg Polius sat here and said he's no longer a Knicks fan. He's a Grizzlies fan, and he wants to be a Grizzlies fan now. So I don't understand how, again, you ride with your team through the good times, you ride with your team through the bad times, and I already know what he's going to say. Well, the organization was trash, and I can't stand the organization, so he's not going to ride with them. But shame on you, and shame on anybody.
That's right.
And shame on anybody else who abandons ship. No matter how much I may trash talk the Celtics for when they don't play well, I will never abandon ship. So shame on Greg for doing that. Ziggs, what are your thoughts with the Knicks?
Well, my whole thing with the Knicks is this, right? Honestly, it's been a long, long time coming. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. But to see what's happening this season, it's like a little bit of breath of fresh air, considering what's been going on in these past couple of years with this whole COVID stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like a breath of fresh air, at least for me as a fan in New York. To what Ant was saying about Julius Randle, yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. People was calling for his head. That's not a lie, not at all. He's been a little bit careless at the time when he first came in with us, but he's totally under control now, and he's a big focal point. He's a big reason why the Knicks are currently on the 7-game winning streak. We see he's putting double doubles. We see he's putting up triple doubles. He's out there looking like a point forward, handling the ball. When he used to spin to go into the paint, he used to, spin, catch an offensive charge, force something up. Now he's spinning to pass. It's a big difference. And that also goes, you got to credit Tom Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? I thought Tom Thibodeau would have came in there and it had been the old Tom Thibodeau from, those Chicago days where he was just, pushing everybody and, things were getting a little sour. But he seems to have lightened up a little bit. And he's been doing a fantastic job with the Knicks. They're still the number one defense in the league. I think if they can possibly get that 5th or 4th seed and end up seeing Atlanta, we could definitely get to the second round. I'm not, and as I said before, I've gotten to that point where, I used to hear Joff call Knicks, Bozo Nation, and that shit is irking. You know what I'm saying? But when I sit and really think about it, for me, it's like, yo, that has nothing to really do with me, because as a fan, you look at it as, you know what? He's talking about those emotional fans that I don't even like hang around, the ones who go around calling Julius Randle MVP and saying we're going to win a championship. He's referring to them.
But wait a minute. But last night we were watching the game and the entire crowd, which of 2,000, were chanting MVP.
And didn't you hear? And what did I
that's
say?
what they're supposed to do.
Didn't I tell you that there was a bunch of fools in Madison Square Garden doing that? He's not.
They supposed to do that. I'm talking on the outside of the Garden. You not know. Inside of the Garden, you pay. Yeah, you're supposed to do all that.
Mike, what are your thoughts, Mike? Mike, I don't remember the last time that the Knicks were better than the Pacers. I don't know, man. So what are your thoughts?
Man, that's the thing that's so crazy, man. And I think that's why we less. I always say, you know, the Knicks have always been my number one enemy as a Pacer fan. But over the years, if you're just not good, then it doesn't make sense to focus kicking somebody while they down. So I think that's why you and I both, Carl, stop making such a big deal about bashing the Knicks, because what's the point? Like, they weren't good. But I remember early on, we had just beat them, and then they beat us, and me and Mac was on here, and we was talking about, and yo, listen, man, I salute what they doing, man. I always.
Why you ain't have Mac on here? Where Mac?
I tried to get him. Mac has been busy. Mac has been busy.
We gotta get him back. But I think, yo, listen, man, they're doing what a competent franchise should do. Now, not saying that they don't get the tag of competent yet. They don't get. You got to have some years of doing making some credible moves before we can tag you as a competent franchise. But as for now, they're doing, because I thought the Tibbs hire was kind of dumb, but I think Mac said like they're getting him to just get everybody to establish a culture, then somebody else will eventually take over. I don't know if that's still the case now. But no, Julius Randle's incredible. I'm always going to root for somebody that was casted out. People said, nah, you're a bum. You work on your game and you become great, or people start seeing all the work you put in, and it starts to get on the main stage. So salute to Julius Randle for putting in the hard work.
The Lakers knew he was good. That's why we drafted him.
And then you traded him, so you don't get credit for that.
Hey, business.
And also not to mention Derrick Rose coming off the bench, playing his role.
You know, it's
when
not
you see
just
people like that, you got to salute them.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, right, and you look at that team outside of Julius Randle and maybe RJ Barrett, on any given night, you could possibly get 20 points from somebody on that squad, right? Yeah. You're looking at somebody like Alec Burks. Another cat.
Reggie Bullock.
Reggie Bullock. He's another one. Even our young rookie, Emmanuel Quickly, came into this league and he kind of like put people on notice, like, yeah, I'm here. He's like our spark plug to come off that bench, and he could give us 20 with maybe 4 or 5 threes. So the team has people there. My only concern is now who's going to be that consistent third scorer. You know what I'm saying? Because even the second scorer, our RJ Barrett, he can be a little bit inconsistent at times. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go down that path. Like I said, I want to enjoy this ride. We've been on a 7-game winning streak. Previous to that, we lost 5 out of 6. And I think we got a 6-game away stand out in the West Coast. And that involves the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. We got some heavy hitters out there to deal with. And I heard AD is coming back tomorrow. So,
Job, I know how you feel about Bozo Nation. You see what I had to say, right? It wasn't much. It wasn't coming at you or anybody and what they had to say. What are your comments on the Knicks?
I mean, first of all, like, you guys had me sit down, do all of this Nick love, taking years off of my life. But I'll say this. The law of averages says that trash has to be good at least once throughout the cycle. 2012, 2013, we had that blip. 2020, 2021, throughout extraordinary circumstances, we have another blip. The Knicks are pretty good right now. I'm not even going to front. I've been so consumed with other things that I didn't realize that they were on a winning streak. That's why I've been quiet about the Knicks. It wasn't until I got an alert, I think it was last night before last night's game, that stated that they had the longest winning streak in the league for the season, if I'm not mistaken. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, Knicks actually playing well. Maybe I need to tap in. Then all of a sudden, Carlos here wants to make proclamations on the live on Wednesdays about the Knicks. And it's like, listen, this is a cool story. And that's what I'm going to file the Knicks under. Cool story. I'm going on the internet and I'm seeing Bozo Nation loud and proud, real ignorant right now. They putting up the memes, they putting up Stone Cold, the Knicks tape, and all these things that I'm seeing right now. They talk about home court advantage and it's still a Knicks town.
Uh-oh.
But in reality, when July rolls around, the NBA Finals will be in New York City, but it'll be in Brooklyn. So all of this energy for the New York Knicks, it is a cool story. It borderlines on fairy tale. It borderlines on extenuating circumstances, creating success. And when it's all said and done, they probably won't even win a playoff game. They have a 6-game road trip coming up against real basketball teams, and they'll probably lose most of those. And we'll be circling back here wondering why we wasted time on this segment beating up the Bozo Nation, New York Knicks. Zig, I'm sorry. It is what it is. The Knicks get no wins from me until they consistently are a winner. I'm not bigging up blips. We don't big up blips here. We only big up success. And as of today, the Knicks are a blip. They get no love from me. Don't even ask me about the Knicks anymore until they win a playoff game. And if they do, I'll come back on this live and I will talk nice. But as of right now, don't ask me for any niceties from the Knicks by way of me.
Crazy.
Yo, Zig, I got one question. Did y'all boo quickly virtually when y'all drafted him?
Of course they did.
No, we cheered for quickly. We cheered for quickly. And we
so Greg, you're here to defend yourself by saying that you didn't abandon ship.
No.
Because you did abandon ship.
No. See, lack of context, Carl, is back because you like to do this.
You abandoned ship. There's no context to abandoning ship.
I didn't come on here to hear you speak.
There really is.
Like, there's no context to abandoning ship. You said you're no longer a Knicks fan. That's what you said.
Come on
because
here
of the organization.
I came on here to speak.
Go ahead.
So, okay, I had an issue with the organization, how they address or their lack of addressing a certain issue. And I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore, so I'm not going to root for them. And like Ann said, it is a narcotic because think about this. The Knicks have the longest winning streak in the NBA. And what were we talking about yesterday? James Harden is out for the season. That's how the NBA feels about the Knicks. I don't need that in my life. Why do I need that?
He made him mental. Yo, listen, it was for his mental health, Carl. Leave him alone.
Exactly.
Him.
That's a him getting.
And you're not gonna feel bad. And part of you doesn't feel bad that they're playing well. They have some promise right now. Part of you doesn't feel like damn, like don't I miss my team? Part of you doesn't feel that way.
The Memphis Grizzlies are a young, up and coming team fighting for a playoff spot with dudes that most NBA fans have never even heard of. And I'm okay with that. Right. The Knicks could win the championship. I'll be happy for Ziggy, but I really don't care. So
you can honestly sit here and say that in your heart of hearts?
Yo.
Here go Carl trying to play gotcha.
You trying to make this man go back to the Knicks?
That's like, listen, Carl. This is like him leaving like a Schedule I drug and going to like CBD. Leave him. He's good. He's good. Don't make him go back to something that's hurting him.
Because there was so many years. Listen, there was so many years of having to hear about the Knicks from this guy, Greg Polius, and all of a sudden now that they're doing well, he's just like, nope, I'm a Memphis Grizzlies fan. It's hard for me to believe that.
He detox, man. Can you let
he's not even posting about the Knicks. He's not talking about the Knicks. I can see him.
No, I'm saying for all those years that he talked about how he was a Knicks fan and he loved them. All of a sudden, now that they're doing great,
but listen, Carl,
stop saying that. You got him switching, and now he's thinking back about the time he used to be.
But you also understand
you got to stop.
Now he's finally clean, and you want him to be strung out again. What's wrong?
Right. You come peddling the Knicks.
Go ahead, Zig. Go ahead, Zig.
I'm trying to get it. Go ahead. What were you saying, Zig? Because at the same time, I know how long Greg has been a Knicks fan prior to being a bum-ass Grizzly fan. So with that being said, right, me and Greg, we've had countless conversations on the numerous things that were wrong with that Knicks organization. You understand what I'm saying? And you could tell that it was bubbling to that point where Greg was going to bounce. I didn't know where he was going to bounce to, but I knew sooner or later that he was going to leave because it was just getting annoying. And it just so happened to be before this season commenced where he was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm going to go with, the Memphis Grizzlies. He didn't want to give Leon Rose a chance. He didn't want to give Worldwide West a chance. We had not ownership, but we had new people coming in to take over, the Knicks organization and see what we could do. But That's I can speak for him on that behalf.
Well, listen. I guess the positive thing is the fact that he bounced and they're doing great. So I mean, it doesn't.
But that's how I look at it.
So I mean, they're doing great and he bounced.
So I mean, granted, the team that I root for is better than the Knicks. So and they're younger and more inexperienced. So
well, currently stating right now they're better than the Knicks is what you're saying.
Absolutely, they're an 8
and have a budding superstar.
Dude, fellas,
put it this way: we have seen this Knick movie before. They are building up an entire city to crush them in about a month from now. So just relax.
This is different. I don't know if this is different.
No, it ain't different.
It's different. I think this is different. Maybe I have hope for my dad. Maybe that's what it is.
Wait a minute, Carl. Are you a closet Knicks fan who's been hiding as a Celtic fan this whole time?
No, never that.
Celtics hurt him, so now he's trying to move.
Listen, I got my Celtic calendar right here. We're
got more than one winning season.
Carl kept saying that. Hold on, Carl kept saying that I abandoned ship, right? But the Knicks have abandoned their fans for decades. So I did not abandon ship. I just kindly took my bags and dipped.
He's been being abused, Tom. Let that man leave. If he want to leave, let him leave.
All right, fine. Before I let you guys go, something that's
hold on. My bad, Carl. Jay, Lex, ain't nobody talking about your bum ass Bulls. Get out of here with that.
That's right.
Do we have any level of concern for the Brooklyn Nets, given the fact that their big three haven't played together? Do we have any level of concern? James Harden out indefinitely. He had a setback with his hamstring.
It's a work.
Yeah, Carl. You don't know that?
Listen, what?
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse.
It's a work.
They're just trying to get. Come on, they're trying to get rest, man. It was a tough season. You know that. Come on, man.
I was hoping not so.
I still got Brooklyn in the finals losing to the Lakers.
Well, of course you say that because they pay you on payroll.
This is called PTO, fellas. PTO.
Carl, look at it. You got maybe LeBron got a legit injury, but I don't know about no 4 to 6 weeks for that, right?
AD, I was just talking to somebody earlier about that.
AD is out, right? Hold on. AD is out.
We need that rest,
right? He needed his rest. You look at KD, James Harden, Giannis, all these big time superstars with these lingering injuries all of a sudden. It's as Jarvis just said, it's a work. And I know you a big time wrestling guy. You know what a work is.
Yeah. Mike, last time I had you on, you basically said that the Nets would sweep any team out the West. You still believe that?
Healthy, there ain't no team gonna beat them. Not healthy.
The Lakers?
No team.
Lakers.
Ray. You didn't hear when he said that? Mike said verbatim, he said any team coming out the West that's going to face the Nets. You did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did say sweep. No, yes, you did. I have it. No, you said sweep. I can pull it back up. You want me to pull it up? No, you said it. You did say that. You did say that.
I stand on what I said.
You know what? You guys talk among yourselves, and I'm going to go look for the clip. No.
He got excited.
No, you said sweep. Sweep.
I meant it. I do not see a team beating them at all.
Yo, bro, let's be clear on this live right now. I'm not even sure that the Nets are beating the Lakers. Let's be clear. I'll say this as a fair person.
They're not.
Player for player, odds maker wise, the Nets are the favorite. But I feel like when the games get played, I don't know if the Nets are beating the Lakers. So to say they're going to sweep the Lakers, a little ridiculous.
All right, hyperbole. I'll give you that. Definitely hyperbole. Doing too much. I'm going to say that. I was doing too much.
We know how you do.
Yeah, sometimes it get a little crazy. But so I will retract the sweep. The sweep. I do think healthy, they're going to win the championship.
Lakers in 6.
I think
that Joe Harris guy is gonna have to be if they're determined to keep Joe Harris in that series, we're crushing them. I'm telling you that right now.
Why?
Joe Harris can't play in that series.
Why not? The way he shoots, why not?
The size that they're playing at against the Lakers.
That's going to be the match. That's going to be the chess move. Can they?
But that's the problem.
Small.
That's a big mismatch.
If the Lakers had a traditional big, then I'd be afraid. But because of AD is the ultimate game changer in small ball in the NBA today.
Well, remember,
if you want to play small against the Lakers and you're determined to have Joe Harris on the floor, and you're gonna have Jeff Green as your 5, right? Or Blake Griffin as your 5.
You're in trouble. Next to Drummond.
But look, you're in trouble. But look, if you look, the whole hope for them is they're going to say, Drummond, you can't play this series. because they're going to go small. So they're going to say
You're
Drummond
bugging.
can't play.
Mike, let me
You're
be
bugging.
let me say, Mike,
You're
let me bring
bugging.
this full circle. Let me bring this full circle for y'all because I got to get out of here before I get in trouble. This next team is not the Golden State Warriors.
No,
there are actual answers for this next team. And that's why I'm not afraid of them. If this was the Golden State Warriors with KD, Clay, and them boys, I'd be afraid. But Brooklyn, there's no steps on the floor here. And I'm going to go, fellas. Peace and love.
All right, man. Ziggs, what are your thoughts here? Is it a shut and close case for the Nets to win the championship, or is it?
I don't think it's shut and close. I think it's gonna be a very even, not even. Oh yes, I'm gonna say that. It's gonna be a very, very even matchup. For a game, I would say maybe 6. Gotta be Lakers. I don't have the Nets winning the championship. After that Drummond deal, I just gave that edge to the Lakers, man. In all honesty.
Well, Anthony, I know where you stand. Mike retracted his statement of the Nets are going to sweep any team now. All of a sudden, he's retracting it.
I'm saying that they're going to win.
All of a
it's the
sudden.
same thing. You worried? See, you always care about the salaciousness of it.
Because that's what you said.
That's media man.
About all that.
That'll
if
do
he
it
can't
for today.
sensationalize it, he can't do nothing.
Oh man,
That's what. See, you right, Ant. That's what the media man do. You a chatty patty.
All right.
Come on,
Gotta
son.
sensationalize it.
Come on, son.
Oh man. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Please make sure you check out the
Peace,
B Show
fellas.
tomorrow at 5:00. I will talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. You guys take care, and
We
everyone
like
have a good
that.
week.
Later.
Who's like that?
We like that. Lakers, you already know in 6.
Goodbye.
Whole lot. Repeat.
You know,
Whole
repeat
lot.
what?
You know what's up.
I can't
You
hear
heard what's up.
I can't hear you.
You heard what's up.
No, I don't know what's
You
up.
heard
I
what's
can't
up.
hear. I can't hear you.
18. Don't worry, 18.
I can't
Can you
hear
say
you.
that word?
I can't hear
18.
you. I can't hear you.
18.
No, I can't hear the word 18.
18.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
18. You heard
I
that.
don't know what that means.
18.
I don't know what that means. I don't understand.
Okay. I know you don't.
I
Because you're
don't
on
understand.
17. And y'all
No,
going
you
to be
still
on
on 17
for
too,
the
my
next,
guy. What are you talking
for the
about?
next 20 years.
You
Y'all
sure
going to
about
be on
that?
17 for another 20
Are you
years.
sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you
Positive.
guaranteeing a championship right now?
I'm positive.
Are you
Who?
guaranteeing a championship for this year?
I guaranteed a 3-peat last year already. What do you mean?
You sure? You guaranteeing a 3-peat? Are you sure?
You heard what I said.
No, I didn't hear what
We
you said.
like that.
Who's
we
like
like
that?
that.
You
We
sure? Who's
like
like that?
We like that. We
Who?
like that.